Alright, welcome to SE Custom Designs. This is the most awkward video that I've ever done. I want to say it is. So we are now out in the poly shed, and I really have to kneel down. And welcome to SE Custom Designs. So we're out in the poly shed, and we are going to put some finish on these hexagon shells. There's 3 of them, 2 which are the same size and 1 which is a little smaller. And we're going to use a product called Watco Danish oil. This is dark walnut. And so let me see if I can, I better just leave the camera angle and deal with it. Called Watco Danish oil finish. Stains and seals and protects. Penetrates deeply. Easily wipe on application. Rich, even color, no brush marks. Well, there isn't going to be brush marks because I'm going to use this. Really, you can apply this with paper towel if you want. Not a good idea because the paper towel will remain on your product and wipe off on it. But I think you get the idea that you can put it on. Wool's Lamb is a really good suggestion. This is a newer product that I'm not familiar with. I used it already, but I wasn't familiar with it until I went to see what do they have today out on the market versus back in the 90s when I did all this stuff professionally for Northeast Painting Company, which no longer exists. So at any rate, prior to getting to this point, I'm going to go ahead and stand up because this is awkward, and hopefully you'll see everything that's going on here. I sanded. I did my finish sanding, and I used this product here, which is a Gator from the company Gator. All right, so you may be familiar with the smaller sizes, approximately this size here. That's what I used previously, and then, like I said, when I went back to see what do they have new on the market, like this. Lo and behold, they had this twice the length, and which is perfect for doing more even sanding on your finished sanding. So I sanded with 220, 400, and eventually I put on possibly 1500 grit. And let me tell you, that gives you a really smooth finish. Absolutely smooth. And so that's that. So we sanded the inside and the outside like that. Previously I used a power tool, a power sander, which is tricky. So if you've never sanded things like this, which is more finish, a finer finish, you're going to get swirlies if you're not careful. So you have to be very, very careful. Whatever swirlies you're going to get in there, you better get them out. And I highly recommend a lot of light, way more light than what this is. These are 2 LED spotlights, but that being said, I have tons of light on in my wood shop. Okay, so we're all done there. Did you hear that clang? That was my ring. You want to take off things like rings, which can mar the wood. Now, if you're following, I'd love for you to follow my new series called "What the Heck Did You Do This Weekend?" And at the moment, you know, I've been in the house like all of us, just sort of hiding out in our houses for the winter. Now it's springtime, and now you're going outside, and you're like, oh wow, I really let my place go outside. So I think I have 2 or 3 videos now where you're going to see the progress of what I'm doing, planting trees and shrubs and all this type of thing, and so on and so forth. So you watch the series. And so as in 2020, we're already in, and I started the series in April. So we're in the middle of April now, and so each week you're going to see more greenery. It's really beautiful and refreshing. So you'll see more and more. Sorry, I just plugged that new channel, and within this, and that can be frustrating, but just bear with me. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put the finish on here. And so what I did is I sanded with this for the final sanding. All right, and then I took a piece of 220 and I softened the edges. Typically, you're going to want to do that on the front. If there's a front of something, then that's where you're going to want to do this. You're going to get the wear and the tear on the outside, the touching and whatever. And you'll know that if you don't sand down those corners, whatever product you put on there, however strong or hard, the edges, when they get nicked, whoops, you know, or even rubbed against, you're going to pull that product off. So the answer is to soften the edges. I didn't care about the back. That's going to go against the wall. I'm going to hang these three of these guys on the wall. So I'm going to go ahead and do the first one, and then we'll stop. And that'll be that. That'll be this episode. All right. So yeah, we're out in the poly shed, and we want to keep those VOCs in the poly shed, not in the house. Way back in the day, don't know what I was thinking. I wasn't. I was doing finishing inside the wood shop, which was in my basement, and of course all that stuff came up through the rafters into the main house. And next thing you know, that's just not good. Those VOCs need not to be around you. So I just the poly shed I have set up so that things that I need are handy. Definitely recommend you get this is a 100-pack of latex disposable gloves. Highly recommend you get something like that. I've got steel wool that we use. Some other tools that we have, a wire brush, things like this that you're going to use within your poly shed. Got the foam units. You got a brush. This is the poly shed, and we try to keep this stuff out here. Even got a little roller here. Those types of things. Lots of rags, lots of finishes. Of course, in the wintertime, I got to bring them inside. Although some of them have gone through the winter, but because they're like not water, they're a chemical. They're not going to necessarily freeze. All right, so let's go ahead and get to it. If you've not ever done anything like this, the caution that I have for you is that if you drip onto the surface, you better be really quick to smooth that out. In other words, what you really want to do is not be shy and just get a lot of product quickly onto the wood. If you should drip, you're going to want to put some more product on that drip area because you're not quite finishing that area yet, right? And then try to spread that out. But there is forgiveness when you're using a product like this. That's the plus with this guy here, the Danish oil, is that there is forgiveness. If it were just stain, like Minwax stain, for example, one of these, then you're going to be in trouble if you do a drip and you don't address it right away. Even if you drip on the bare wood, you're going to be in trouble. You're going to have to sand that out, buff it out, touch it up at the end of the day. Those are just some of the tips that I'll have for you. And you want to vacuum off your wood so that there's no dust. More than likely there's dust on here, but it's not going to be critically it's not going to be critical in a negative in this case. What I will do is put one coat on, a nice heavy coat, and it'll let it soak in, and then I'm going to wipe it off with one of my towels here. I see dust coming off of it. And then once it's all dried, I'll do a real fine sanding over top of it. Make sure there's absolutely no dust in the air. No possibility of that. Tack cloths are a really good product to use for cleaning off anything. I have to use sand, like poly or whatever. The tack cloth will absolutely get the dust off. Don't let Mr. Bush hear me say this, He made his own oil, bush oil. I met him in Secaucus, New Jersey, selling his product there, and he did shows. He did a show on at the woodworking, the Secaucus. It was woodworking club. All right, this is turning out to be quite tricky. They make these things so that they can't be opened even by normal people. I consider myself normal. All right. Hopefully I won't waste too much more of your time trying to open up the lid. There we go. That is one of my major complaints with this type of system. So let me be sure to put those back inside the lid, so when you go to seal it, it's going to help seal the outside here. All right, without further ado, let's go ahead and start putting on the finish. I think what I'm going to do is start on the inside, okay, and then flip it around. We're going to use this to move the product around. At least I think I am. I might just grab one of those rags and use that, okay? So there you go. I'm not sure how much of this you can see. Like I said, this is the first time I've had to work in such a small area like this. But so far it's working out good. Not sure, again, sorry what you're seeing there. And so we'll just continue. Pretty soon there'll be plenty of product on this this unit, so that I call everything a unit. And that being said, I'm already putting I'm already putting products in splashes. I'm just going to pour a lot of it on there and go on the outside. I'm already dripping all over the unit. This is what I'm saying. This is not graceful at all. So you just get the product on there as quickly as you can. Okay, at the end of the day, we're going to be fine. Because like I said, the oil is quite forgiving. If this were just, you know, the stain, then I would be panicking right now. So let's go ahead and put more product on there and keep flipping it around. We got this one here. Okay, and that's it. And you do want to put plenty of product on, by the way. And you're going to let it soak in. And then, okay, once to come off of this, I'm perfectly fine with that. Not in love with that handle anyways. Now I feel like I'm really getting my hands into the product here. So let's flip it around. I see that I need to do this side. So maybe I will go ahead and do the other one so you can see. I like to do things in real time so that you can get the real experience of what's going on, the gotchas, so on and so forth. So I'm okay with this now. I'll set it aside. And yeah, he's got a lot of droops going on there, but it really isn't going to matter. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll do the top first. Let's pour more product on there. I'm going to do the top first, and then we'll set him down on the ground. How's that? There we go. Now it's already wet. So that being said, boom. Let's continue with the rest of it. Notice I didn't start on the inside, and I'm moving right along here. Okay. All right. Now that I did touch the inside, I'll make a liar out of myself. We're just going to go everywhere. But you'll see at the end of the day, it's going to be just fine. If it weren't, I wouldn't be doing this video. And I certainly wouldn't be wasting my time having to sand it all out again, having to sand out the droops or whatever. That's just not going to happen. Okay, so here we go. Notice how the second one is going much faster. Okay, this is going to be the proof in the pudding, where you're going to say, okay, he's going to have droops and he's going to have those, he's going to have to really sand that out. I won't have to, but we'll follow up with this video to show you what they're going to look like, what we're going to do in the next steps, okay? All right, so not a huge fan of this. It's only the second time I've used it. I feel like I'm wasting a lot of product, but almost halfway done with that can, and in my mind that's unacceptable to be so, to have gone through that much material. All right, so let's go for it. I'm gonna start on the outside. Flip. Flip. We're going much faster than we did with the first one, aren't we? Okay. Now I'm gonna flip it this way. We can go for a different technique. All right, pour more product on. And let's see, we'll be done with this in record time. I personally find, if you're new to craft shows and making things and you're trying to actually make money selling things, you really have to think about the finishing. Leave that up to the customer if they're looking to get some kind of like huge deal, right? Who isn't trying to get a really nice deal, right?